Hey, sports fans, this is John Kuntz, Athletic Director at Sussex County Community College with the Skylander sports scene. My guest today is Frank Rios, a member of our men's basketball team. Hey, Frank, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good as well. We're going to talk a little basketball for a little bit with Frank as a member of our men's basketball team for the last 2 seasons. And we're going to start with this question, Frank. Let's go back to your high school. I know you were at a few different schools during your high school years. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I went to Pope John my freshman year to play basketball, but I ended up leaving and transferring to Wallkill Valley Regional High School, where I played my first season as a sophomore. I didn't play my freshman year at Pope John, and then my parents decided to move here to Newton, so I finished out my high school career at Newton. I did not play my senior year, though. I was cut from the team.
Okay, and then after that, you arrived here at Sussex County Community College,
Yep.
and you spoke with Coach Jackson and started your freshman season here. And tell us a little bit about your freshman season and what happened after that.
Freshman season was a good one for me. I feel like I had been coached by Coach Jackson in the past, during my AAU season, eighth grade, and we didn't really see eye to eye back then. But then I came here, and I feel like I grew up a lot, obviously, from 8th grade to freshman year of college. So we got along, and I feel like he's taught me a lot about the game and like to learn how to take better shots and facilitate and be more of like an all-around better basketball player rather than just a scorer like I was in high school. So I appreciate him for that. And like freshman year, we had a good season, but obviously it was disappointing. We didn't make the playoffs, so we're hoping to improve on that this season.
So it was kind of a little bit, was it an adjustment period for you that freshman year as the style of play, the quickness of play at this particular level, the 2-year college level for you?
Oh, yeah, most certainly. But I actually enjoy it better than high school. The pace and everything about it, just like the competition, everything drives me more than I had in the past in high school.
Yeah, it's a tough league.
Yeah.
In observation of the games that I've watched, there's a lot of good teams out there at the 2-year college level that we compete against. And so you kind of got to grow up really quick
Yeah.
to adapt to this type of game, right?
Yep. We definitely got to grow up quickly, but I feel like I had a lot of sophomores on that team freshman year that helped me adjust rather quickly, and then come second semester freshman year, I was very comfortable and felt that I can play with anybody that put in front of me. So
You mentioned that Coach Jackson taught you some things, when you arrived here as a freshman. Let's talk a little bit more about that. What specifically did Coach Jackson, as our head men's basketball coach, teach you, as well as his assistant, Vinny Sinnel, during your freshman year?
Well, I've always been able to play, obviously, like been one of the better players on all my teams throughout my life, but they've taught me to mature, like off the court, on the court, like leadership, being able to get guys going, and just overall my game, like facilitating and understanding the offense and buying into what we're doing as a team rather than just trying to go out there and win games just doing whatever I want. Like, so they have helped me like mature a lot, I would say, in that sense.
Yeah, that's obviously a good thing. I mean, there's a lot of intangibles in developing yourself as a basketball player besides the obviously skills of shooting the ball, passing the ball, taking the ball to the basket. But those intangibles that you talked about as far as growing up and maturing and being a leader, distributing the basketball, getting your teammates involved, sharing with everybody that they're all part of the team, whether they're, a star player or they're guys coming off the bench. So those aspects are really important. After your freshman year, you suffered an injury, though. Is that correct?
Yeah, I tore my ACL at a workout spring after my freshman season. I think it was in May.
And what was that recovery like for you, and how did you handle that mentally?
Mentally, definitely affected me. I honestly didn't even want to return to basketball. Like, it messed me up. But as I recovered and went through physical therapy for like a little under a year, I felt as good as new. So I decided to come back and play at Sussex for a second season.
So you had to sit out that 1 year.
Yeah.
And then you came back this fall.
Mm-hmm.
To college and to finish out your second year. Let's talk a little bit about the beginning of this season. We're into the season now. I guess I don't know, about 8 or 10 games that you played. We had a couple of real exciting wins early on. 2 overtime wins, one against Middlesex County College and one against Bergen County College. In both of those games, you came up big and you scored a lot of points, like 34 against Middlesex, went for 40 against Bergen. Can you talk a little bit about those games and your effect on those particular games and how you saw it, from being on the court? What were you feeling?
I feel like Middlesex was definitely a big win for us because we came off losing our 2 home opening games to teams that we felt like we definitely needed to beat. And then Middlesex is definitely a tougher team coming into our gym. And I feel like as a team we came out and we were ready to play that night. And then just personally, I feel like every night I can go off for that amount of points, and my teammates trust me and my coach trusts me, and they put the ball in my hands late in games, and I just try to make plays for my team. And luckily on that night it worked out, and those were huge wins for us. Middlesex gave us confidence and made us feel like we could play with anybody that steps on the court with us because they're one of the better teams in the region. So
I watched both of those games. I was present, and I know in the Middlesex game we were down pretty big in the first half, as well as the Bergen game. But in the Middlesex game in particular, I think we were down double digits before halftime, and then you kind of went off. There was a period of time where you went off there, and you hit some threes, you scored some other buckets, you got to the foul line, and you really, I think you were feeling it during that period of time where you were hot.
Mm-hmm.
And you were excited about it, and it was motivating the players on your team as well as the spectators that was there, and it was a joy for me to watch. Do you sense that, when you know things are going well for you and you feel like the basket's the size of 2 baskets?
Yeah, definitely. But I'm just the type of player that when I feel like every shot's gonna go in, honestly, even when I'm in a slump and I miss 4 or 5 in a row, that I think the 6th shot is going in. So obviously I get the ball a lot in our offense, but we have a couple other guys that can score also. But when I get going, and so when Samir gets going, Samir Wheeler, that's when we play our best. So they try to feed me the ball as much as possible, and then I just get on a little run, and then we cut that deficit down, and we're able to win the game.
Yeah, it's kind of like, who's ever hot, you got to feed them the ball. Whether it's yourself or whether it's Samir, or Shaquan.
Yep.
They get the ball, and you got to just ride that out. But it was certainly exciting to watch you play in that Middlesex game, bringing the team back, and as well in the Bergen game, another overtime win, 93-92 win against Bergen. Both of those teams are usually fairly solid competitors in the Garden State Athletic Conference that we compete in. I'm talking with Frank Rios, a member of the men's basketball team here at Sussex County Community College on 97.5, your cruising oldie station, and the Skylander sports scene. So, Frank, let's talk a little bit about your academics. We obviously try and recruit players. We want players to do well academically. We want them to compete for us. So where are you at academically as far as possibly graduating and maybe moving on from Sussex County Community College to continue your career? Was there an adjustment for you in the classroom regarding your abilities? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, coming to SCCC my freshman year, was definitely an adjustment period to me academically because in high school I was not the best student, so coming here was an opportunity to turn that around and really start fresh and put myself in a position to go move on to a 4-year and get a 4-year degree somewhere. So I'm majoring in physical education, so I'm trying to finish that degree out hopefully in the spring, maybe take a couple summer one courses to graduate and then move on. I want to continue my education and basketball career after this year. So
Has anybody approached you, any other 4-year college recruiters or college coaches, to come play for them recently?
I've spoken to a few local schools, such as Centenary. Nothing crazy, but just a couple schools local. But I'm looking obviously I want to play at a pretty high level, hopefully. So I'm just finishing out the season and weighing out my options come second semester.
Well, we certainly like to see you move on and get your degree. I mean, that's obviously extremely important to us that we graduate our players, and hopefully you will get the opportunity to move on and play at the highest level possible. Let me ask you this question: how would you describe your style of play? We know that you're a scorer. You can shoot the three, but you can also take the ball to the basket. You do get to the foul line. You can knock down the 10-foot jumper as well. So it's kind of all around there. But how would you describe it offensively and defensively? What type of player are you?
Offensively, I just consider myself to be just a playmaker, really, in every aspect. I mean, I feel like I can score the ball, and I also can find my teammates and do things off. I move well without the ball in my hands, and I just feel like I'm all around on offense. I affect the game in as many ways as possible, but defensively is definitely an area I need to improve in. But I'm a smaller guy, so I do my best. I feel like I put myself in the right positions to play defense, but sometimes people just knock shots down over me. I mean, it's going to happen, but I don't lose confidence defensively. I feel like if coach puts me on another team's better player, I can hold them. I can limit them. But yeah, I just feel like all around really just a playmaker. That's what I would consider myself.
Now, sometimes you'll get matched up against a taller player who might be 2, 3, 4, 5 inches taller than you.
Yeah.
How do you what do you make any kind of adjustment, as far as defending somebody who is that much taller than you are?
Oh, when I play somebody taller than me, it's all about just beating them to a spot and forcing them into tough shots and put my hand up. And if they knock down shots over me, then so be it. As long as it's not a layup at the rim or something wide open, then I'm not going to sit here. And as long as I play good defense, keep them in front, force them to my help, and just go along with the defensive scheme that coach puts in place, then that's about the only adjustment I really need to make.
Yeah, I guess one of the best ways to try to defend somebody who's a very good shooter or taller than you is you try and prevent them from, number one, just not getting the basketball. If they don't get the basketball, then it's going to be difficult for them to score. Once they do get the basketball, you try and keep your body in front of them, and make it as difficult as possible for them to score. So who do you look up to? I mean, athletically, basketball-wise, a parent, a father. I mean, who are role models for you?
Basketball-wise, I would say it's a good question. I mean, my favorite player in the NBA is LeBron James, so I wouldn't really say he's a role model, though. Obviously, he's a much different style of player overall, but I mean, I look up to guys like Isaiah Thomas, Kyrie Irving, all the greats in the league. But in terms of a role model, I don't really have any type of role model, I would just say I take bits and pieces of everything that I learned from different people, different players, and put it all together and just kind of make it my own and just find my own path on and off the court.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, Frank. I know that when I was coaching, we go to clinics to try and learn certain things, and you take bits and pieces from other coaches and from other people, and you kind of draw on their experiences and kind of put it towards your life and put it all together. So that's a pretty good way of going about it and looking at it. Talk a little bit about your teammates now. I know we mentioned a couple of names there earlier on, and what they bring to the table. Guys like Samir and Shaquan and Nick Ramirez and other guys.
Teammates are great. My teammates are great. Shaquan and Samir are obviously bigger focal points in the offense. After me, of course. But Samir, he's a guy that can defend another team's best player and can score. On any night, he could go off for 20, 25, 30. So I feel like that's huge for us. And then Shake is probably the most consistent guy on our team, and he's efficient, can get to the line, can score in transition. We look to push the ball a lot on offense, so he's big for us. When we get the ball up to him, he makes plays in transition. And then we got guys like Nick, who just spot up, knock down jumpers, play defense. He's a workhorse. Love having him on the team. And then we got Derek Montgomery under the rim. He's a solid guy. And we got some guys coming off the bench that help us. And then hopefully come second semester, we got some other reinforcements coming that are going to help us even more so we could make a push late.
Yeah, I saw where Coach Jackson's got some guys that are going to become eligible in January, so hopefully they will be, added to the roster and improve the team and give some depth to the team as well. Nick Ramirez, you mentioned, from Lenape Valley High School, has also been a 2-year starter. Samir is from Newton. I don't know, did you know Samir before Sussex County Community College?
Yeah, me and Samir have been best friends for a long time. Real close off the court. We're roommates right now. So, yeah, he's a close friend of mine, and we played together in high school, so this is nothing new to us. Just obviously an adjustment from high school to college, but, me and Samir have been side by side for a while now.
And Shaquan that you mentioned and Derek are from the Stroudsburg area, went to high school out there. So talk a little bit about that. When you first come in, you start playing with guys from different areas. Might be from obviously outside of Newton, Stroudsburg area, kids from out of state. Does that really matter, or just basketball players are basketball players?
It all depends on the personalities. But for us, I feel like it was definitely an adjustment period coming together and playing together. It went over rather smoothly, but when you have this many freshmen and only a couple of sophomores, and Shaquan's a sophomore, but he transferred from a different school, so it's not like he's been in the system with Coach. So it was an adjustment, and I feel like it took us a couple games to get comfortable with one another, but it happened. So we're working right now.
Yeah, at the 2-year college level, it's probably a little bit different or more difficult because there can be constant change from one year to next. And when you get into the high school years, players may have played for a number of years together, growing up together in the same town. Now all of a sudden you're put into a situation where you got 15 guys, 20 guys coming out for the team from different towns and possible different states, and it takes a little bit of time to grow that cohesiveness, as a team, another intangible to being a successful team. And it's kind of like the coach has all the ingredients, to bake the cake, but hopefully it'll all work, with all the players' different backgrounds. I'm talking to Frank Rios here on your 97.5 WRSK Cruising Oldie Station and the Skylander Sports Scene. I wanted to ask you this question: what do you do off the court when you put the basketball down for the day after practice? What do you do to relax, hang out, study? What are some of the things that you do other than basketball?
Off the court. I mean, living in Sussex County, it's not much to do, but I mean, I hang out at my house. It's cold outside. I don't really enjoy the cold, so spend a lot of time watching movies, Netflix, playing video games, chilling with my friends like Samir, obviously. We just really hang out. I mean, there's not much to do in Sussex County. Go to the movies, the mall, work occasionally.
So just kind of relax, put the basketball down for a little bit.
Yeah, just
and
get
hang
get our
out.
minds off the game for a little while.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned a little bit earlier about your favorite professional teams, and you follow LeBron and Kyrie Irving. You prefer NBA versus college, as far as the type of games that you would watch on TV. And when I say college, like Duke or somebody like that, but you prefer the NBA game to watch that?
Definitely prefer the NBA. It's just
Why is that?
more exciting to me, and just there's just such great basketball players that something new happens every game. So like, it's exciting for me to watch. I mean, I enjoy college also, but definitely prefer watching NBA over college personally.
What has Sussex County Community College done for you? Has it changed you? Has it helped you grow? What's been that experience like? Not only with basketball, but being a member of this student population and going to class and meeting other people, other students, other student athletes from other sports. What's it been like for you?
I definitely think going to Sussex has changed me. Not only the school, but just the past 3 years. I mean, the 2 years I played and then the year I was hurt. Going to Sussex, just the experience overall has just helped me grow. And then obviously just away from college, just life over the past 3 years while I've been at Sussex has changed me, helped me grow and mature. And I mean, I've created a lot of relationships here with different people that are hopefully going to last forever. So, I mean, I feel like it's definitely changed my life coming to Sussex. But
So would you say it was the right choice for you at the time when you had to make the decision as to what your future would hold after high school?
yeah, for sure, it was definitely the right choice.
And do you think you would do it again this way?
Yeah.
You would make Sussex your home for your 2-year college career?
Yep, definitely.
Great. Did you play any other sports, in high school before you got here or growing up? And did they help you in any way, with your basketball game?
I played soccer my whole life, really, until 8th grade year I converted, and I decided to play basketball. I'm not sure how soccer would assist me playing basketball, but that was what I did from the time I was a little kid until 8th grade. I picked up a basketball, and I've enjoyed it ever since. I mean, I played football also in high school, quarterback. I feel like playing quarterback helped me on court and just in life in general, just becoming a leader and being comfortable, being in the spotlight and having the pressure be on me. So I feel like that definitely helped me as a basketball player.
Yeah, I can see that that relationship there. Being a quarterback, all eyes are on you. You kind of got to run the show and kind of make things happen. And in your basketball career and what I've observed, you've been pretty much our go-to guy, having to provide some scoring punch for the Skylanders and be a leader as well to get the other players involved. So I can see how you can make that connection. You have any personal goals, for this particular season, and do you have any team goals as we go? I know that you scored a lot of points for us, and you're on track to become a 1,000-point scorer for the Skylanders, which is quite a feat, in a 2-year career. So talk a little bit about that. Do you have personal goals or team goals, once we get into January and that?
Yeah, I would love to become a 1,000-point scorer. I mean, I feel like that mean a lot to me, especially after high school. My high school career ended not the way I would like for it to end, and I fell a little bit short of my 1,000 points. I didn't get to play my senior year, so it would mean a lot to me and my family and my mother if I was able to complete that and be able to say I did that. But and then in terms of like the team, obviously we want to make the playoffs, which we're struggling right now, but I believe that we're gonna fix it. Obviously, it starts tonight with our next game, and I feel like there's really that's our primary goal is just to grind out this season and get into the playoffs.
Yeah, well, it's a long season, Frank. As you know, I mean, all into February, so there's a lot of games ahead of the Skylanders to be played, and I want to wish you luck on your goal of getting to that 1,000 points. As long as you stay healthy, I think it's going to happen for you. You've been a joy to watch during my time here over the last couple of years, so I want to wish you luck and thank you for being here today on WRSK, the Cruisin' Oldies station at 97.5. Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.
Thank you.
Thanks, Frank.